Hey, I want to talk about how we react to people who want nothing to do with what we're actually doing. This is like the topic of the week. And I feel like, oh, Dayton's coming. Ooh. Hi, Dayton. I've, hi, say hello. There he is. I'm trying to show you his face. It's not working. I'm sure you'll hear his voice though. So the theme of the week has been, what do you do when people don't like your voice? When they don't care about what you've got to say? And when they passive aggressively put down what it is that you have to say? Like, what do you do? Because when I first started sharing my writing, I was so like, oh, be compassionate and nice and sweet to everybody. And so I made such an effort to glaze over things that were passive aggressive or really critical or anything like that, you know, and to just kind of with them myself and walk away and never get mad. You know, that was like my thing. I would just never get mad in public. In public. What do I mean? On social media, really. So like, I'm not going to show you that part of my persona because in real life, I might have anger, but I'm not going to show you my anger, not going to show you my sexuality, not going to show you the depths of those parts of me that I don't think should be exhibited. And so when I first started sharing my stuff too, like, I was definitely a lot more insecure about my work than I am now, which is hard to believe because I'm so insecure about my work now. I really am. And poet's curse, right? We're just insecure about everything all the time. Can't help it. And so I would get possessed by these like demons sometimes where somebody would post something and I just would have to put this little like bitey comment on it and criticize it. And you know, it's not like I'm advocating for world peace or something on this person's post. It's like I'm just adding a negative viewpoint to an otherwise really positive experience. And I would keep doing that over and over and over. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. But the reason that I'm saying it is because Dayton is because I see people doing that to me. And it's hard to know how to react, really, because a part of me is like, I want nothing to do with these people and then just want to like delete them. Another part of me, which is actually like more influential in my everyday life, takes the things that these people say and like loops it over and over and over and over in my head. For example, somebody told me today that I was their favorite poet. Have I thought about that until I started making this video? No. Didn't think about it. Didn't play it over and over in my head. Didn't remember it every single time. Like it's like an addictive craving, you know, if you've ever been addicted to anything. It's like the moment that your brain is unoccupied, it's like, you want this thing. And so that's what happens when somebody says something rude to me, though. Like every single time that I have some space to myself, I'm like, this person said this thing. Do I do that with compliments? No, I don't. No, I don't. And that's the curse of it all, you know, because to be an artist of any kind takes a certain amount of sensitivity. To put your stuff out there, like to actually be putting your things on a stage or be putting your stuff out on the internet for people's judgment to leak all over, takes a certain amount of vulnerability. But as soon as you put yourself out that way, there's people out there who, like me, when I first started out, I mean, I did this too, definitely not beyond it, who, you know, they're stuck in their cocoons, and so they criticize how you use your wings. It's inevitable. It happens to all of us. But the question is, like, what am I going to do with that? Like, am I going to let these people's opinions sway where it is that I'm going and what it is that I'm doing? No. And some days that's the work, you know? Some days that's the only work that there is. The only work there is. Yeah. I mean, I think the other work is to just, like, love ourselves. Just to let all of those positive comments in. And it's not even just about loving yourself. It's like letting in the loving things that people say. Thinking about them. You know? Just thinking about them. At every opportunity. Every time you get distracted. Like, wow, this person said this thing to me. Somebody said I was their favorite poet today. Who knows? Maybe he hasn't even, like, read any other poets. But it's a compliment. I mean, I'll take it. Can't I take it? I think I can take it. I think I can make some room for that in my head. Because I make so much room for my own criticism, other people's criticism. Don't leave a lot of room for the magic. And really, that's rude. To the people that actually do support me and who read my work and who give me the benefit of the doubt, the people who, I mean, that's who it's for. That's who it's for. It's for me. It's for you. Everybody else, it's not for them. So why am I thinking about them more than anybody else? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I do. Do you? Right? Do you? Do you think about the shitty things that people say to you way more often than the nice things that people say to you? Oh my God. Right? I think it's something like realizing that your eating habits or something, you know, like just paying attention to your eating habits. Like I remember at a certain point I was like, whoa, I eat a lot of sodium. Actually, my mom would say this to me. She'd be like, you eat a lot of sodium. And at first I was like, don't tell me what to do. And then after a while, I was like, let me check these product labels. It's like, whoa, I eat a lot of sodium. Right? So what do? I mean, you just pay attention and see if there's an opportunity to make a change. And so right now, my sodium is other people's salt. Like I'm still eating too much salt. I'm just eating people's salty comments about me. And that's a self-sabotage tactic for sure, because I have other things to do. I have other things to think about. I have other things to manifest. I have other plans and goals with my life. And so when I sit around and think about the ways that people have not supported me, have not you know, all the ways that people have just like come along and pissed on my fire instead of starting their own. Even focusing on the fact that they're doing that, even if it's coming from a place of compassion, like, wow, look at this person doing that. It's still like 24 hours in my day, 7 days in my week. I need to be thinking about other things. And so I think this has to be one of those things that people who get comfortable with sharing their art very publicly get used to. I'm trying to get used to it. And yeah, and it's not easy. But I think it starts with noticing. It starts with noticing, like, what am I allowing to take up the space in my head? Because letting the opinions of people who are committed to misunderstanding me invade like my entire mind space and leave no room for people who call me their favorite poet. People who, when I can't even respond to a comment by somebody on a post because I'm so like flabbergasted about it, like the mama bears that come out of nowhere and respond to those comments for me with grace and tact, but also unapologetic truth. I mean, these are the people that I should be sitting around thinking about instead of thinking about my own goals for the future. I sit around and think about the ways that my goals of the present might not come to fruition because of the lack of approval that I have felt from somebody. I mean, what a waste of time, right? What a waste of time. I think it all begins with noticing. I really believe that. So here's to noticing how we're sabotaging ourselves. Here's to Cats, right? He's so happy right now. Dayton. He's like actually my best friend right now. He's my best friend. He's so cute. He's 17 years old. That's old as hell. He is so old. Yes, Dayton. Yeah, he likes the attention, don't we all? Yeah. So, what else do I want to say? The Shades of Missing You is coming out. The box, I'm getting a box of books shipped here. I'm in Vancouver right now. I bought a one-way ticket to Sydney from LA, so I'm going to have to make it down to LA in a couple of days. I'll be in Portland for a few days at the end of November, beginning of December. The thing is, I can't actually bring this box of books with me. So if you want a signed copy of The Shades of Missing You, right now is pretty much the only time. I have, after pre-orders are said and done with, I probably have 40 copies. 40 copies. That's it. I might be able to get some shipped to me in Australia while I'm there and then send them out, but the Australian government is pretty nay-nay about any kind of business activities, so I definitely can't bring my books on the plane with me. So I'll have to like wait for them to get printed, all this stuff. And so this is the only shipment that I'm getting that could actually make it to you before Christmas, just so you know. So I'm gonna have that soon. I'll put up like a video or photo or something of me when I have it, and then I'll share the info on how you can order those. Yeah, because I think it would make a really nice gift. The cover's so beautiful. Honestly, that's a cool thing about collaborating with other artists, because that cover, I mean, like, I make visual art, but I don't make visual art like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so good. Like, I love the process of creating visual art, but I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine creating what Muhammad has created. It's so good.